Florida Governor Ron DeSantis finally broke his silence on the rumored looming Trump indictment, and what he had to say signaled what he plans to do or not do in the face of this rumored looming indictment, as well as his overall thoughts on the matter. We're going to go ahead and dive into the comments made by the Florida governor here on The Breakdown. Hey, this is Greg Hoyt from The Breakdown. If you're new here and checking out the channel on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at GregHoytLET. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Suffice it to say, the rumored looming Trump indictment is a big topic right now. And why wouldn't it be? Because we're discussing the possibility of a former president facing an indictment. Now, keep in mind, the indictment that is purportedly on the table, it's coming out of the state of New York, and it is allegedly some kind of a misdemeanor based upon misfiling or mislabeling an expenditure related to the payoff of Stormy Daniels that happened years ago, which was purportedly meant to keep a lid on an alleged affair that happened purportedly sometime a decade ago. And needless to say, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has had a hard-on for Trump for quite some time since stepping into office. And again, I cannot stress this enough. The alleged looming Trump indictment, it is the talk of the town. Folks are talking about it on the mainstream media cycle. There's nonstop chatter about it on Twitter. You have people doing YouTube videos on it. In fact, just days earlier on one of my live streams, I had Casey from the awesome channel Better Benefield, as well as Grifty, and we were discussing the case in question, the looming indictment against Trump, what the implications will be, what the fallout will be, how will this affect his political career. But we also discussed Ron DeSantis at the onset, because people were wanting to know, what is Ron DeSantis going to do or say? Will he come to Trump's defense? Will he lambast the Manhattan District Attorney? People are genuinely curious as to what Ron DeSantis is going to do in light of this. Because ex-president or not, Donald Trump is a resident of the state of Florida. And with Ron DeSantis being the governor, he would get into the fold in some way, shape, or form. Even if it is just a ministerial aspect or two, he would still get into the fold if an indictment and extradition order were to come out of the state of New York and make its way over to Florida with respect to one of their citizens. Well, come March 20th, Ron DeSantis finally broke his silence on the matter, delivering a statement on the whole conundrum, the whole ordeal, before a press pool. Ron DeSantis did a couple of things that I figured to be very craftfully, approached. One, he went after the, Manhattan District Attorney and, referred to him as a Soros-backed attorney, which the individual Alvin Bragg is, and, emphasized that he finds the charge to be petty in light of the exploding crime in Manhattan. But also, the second thing he did, he took a slight jab at Trump by, kind of making a joke about, giving hush money to a porn star over an alleged affair.
Extradition to New York.
So I've seen rumors swirl. I have not seen any facts yet, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know this: the Manhattan District Attorney is a Soros-funded prosecutor, and so he, like other Soros-funded prosecutors, they weaponize their office to impose a political agenda on society at the expense of the rule of law and public safety. He has downgraded over 50% of the felonies to misdemeanors. He says he doesn't want to even have jail time for the vast, vast majority of crimes. And what we've seen in Manhattan is we've seen the crime rate go up, and we've seen citizens become less safe. And so you're talking about this situation with, and look, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair. I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is that if you have a prosecutor who is ignoring crimes happening every single day in his jurisdiction, and he chooses to go back many, many years ago to try to use something about porn star hush money payments, that's an example of pursuing a political agenda and weaponizing the office. And I think that that's fundamentally wrong.
Now, I know what many of you may be thinking when hearing that statement. You may be thinking, okay, it's all good and well that he addressed the matter. Okay, that's nice that he said, the DA is, arguably a bad person or, just kind of ideologically motivated. And maybe some of you folks are probably not thrilled about the jab at Trump. And I get it, Trump still has his hardcore base, and some of that base is really kind of, cocking an eyebrow or even just outright, condemning Ron DeSantis because they feel as though DeSantis may be some kind of establishment shill. But that's neither here nor there. You folks must be wondering, what is Ron DeSantis going to do? Well, the answer is basically nothing. At least that's what he proclaimed during the same press conference.
Be involved in this. I have no interest in getting involved in some type of manufactured circus by some Soros DA, okay? He's trying to do a political spectacle. He's trying to virtue signal for his base. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida. We're obviously shutting down CBDC, which is important. We've got so many things pending in front of the legislature. I've got to spend my time on issues that actually matter to people. I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So we're not going to be involved in it in any way. I'm fighting for Floridians, and I'm fighting back against Biden. That's what I do every single day.
Again, I want to reiterate, I think Ron DeSantis, his comments and approach on this matter, I find it to be very craftfully executed, because this is one of those things where it's the best of a bad situation in terms of for the sake of Ron DeSantis. I think Ron DeSantis is well aware that if this indictment is going to transpire, come March 21st, if it is legitimately going to happen, I think he's aware, and I'm pretty sure he's been advised, that there's not much he could really do to stop it outside of stalling the process. Now, that being said, I think he could have padded the statement with regard to him acknowledging that he's not going to do anything. He could have padded that and made it a little bit better by highlighting or emphasizing the legal blockades, roadblocks, whatever, that would come into play if he tried to do anything, and then, maybe just deliver a statement saying, I would only be delaying the inevitable, or something to that effect. But I think it was also good for him to point out that at this time, they are rumors. Now, I think the indictment is coming. Even if it is just a rumored indictment, I think it's coming. There's just way too much chatter for this to not be happening. Even though DA Alvin Bragg hasn't said anything about the matter, let's face it, there's obviously leaks in the district attorney's office. The writing is on the wall over there. I think this misdemeanor indictment is coming. Now, I think it's going to be a dog and pony show, going to be a little bit of a spectacle. If Trump, gets extradited or just turns himself in, whatever, it would literally be an exhibition of him walking inside a courthouse, getting fingerprinted, and walking out, because he would probably just be released on his own recognizance. It would be in and out. So all those people coping, seething, and dreaming about, Trump going to Rikers Island or something like that, no, that's not going to happen. At least not with this potential charge. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that really would have preferred DeSantis to say, hey, we're going to stop this on all fronts. We're going to make sure this never happens. But I think it is important to walk away from this matter with realistic expectations of what the outcome could be. If this indictment is legitimately coming, on the 21st or even on a later date, once again, a misdemeanor indictment, if it's coming, there really isn't. There really isn't much that can be done as far as, what Ron DeSantis has control over. The Florida governor's role when it comes to, out-of-state warrants, extradition orders, whatever you want to call them, his role is really just ministerial. He basically gets a copy of the information, and he gets to look it over up and down and say, yep, this is a warrant, or yep, this is an extradition order, but he doesn't really have the ability to stop it. He can have something reviewed by a committee, and that might buy a month or two, tops. So he can stall it, but it's stalling the inevitable. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the long and short of it. Go ahead and drop a comment below because I want to hear everybody's thoughts on this matter. Do you think that, DeSantis could have handled this better? Would you have preferred if DeSantis said something different? Are you completely okay with this stance and almost his kind of hands-off approach, but being critical of the entire matter? Just drop your comments below. Let me hear your thoughts. Anyways, guys, that was the breakdown. Peace.